Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to make custard slices. This recipe comes from a cookbook called Wen Resepte, which is a cookbook that is passed down from generation to generation, here in South Africa at least. So we're going to make this delicious dessert. It's either going to be amazing or I'm going to make a huge flop. But luckily you'll be there to see it, and then I will post the recipe on my food blog lovethatfood.wordpress.com, and I will link that for you below. Remember to like and share and to subscribe to my channel, and you are more than welcome to leave your comments below. What would you like to see from my page next? And of course, if you want a shout out, go ahead and ask for one. Today's shout out goes to my Aunt Hexie because I'm using her kitchen. This kitchen is amazing. Why? Because there's no restrictions. It's just open. So let's get started. What you'll need is a packet of cream crackers. You will need 1 liter of milk. I don't know how many gallons that is, but I'm assuming it's less than a gallon. And then you'll need 200 grams of sugar, which we have here. You're gonna need butter. You're gonna need some cake wheat flour, millibloem, which I think is cornstarch, but I'm not sure. Corn flour. You're gonna need custard powder, salt, cold water, 3 eggs, vanilla essence, icing sugar, and boiling hot water. So the first thing you need to do is to spray the bakkie that you're going to use. The dish that you're going to use with some spraying cook. And make sure it's for cooking and baking, because you do get different flavors of these. I have made cake with garlic flavored cook and spray. So they suggest that you use a 35 by 25 by 5 centimeters dish. I don't know what this one is, but it's definitely not those specifications. So that's the first thing you need to do. Then they say you need to lay out 15 cookies in rows of 5 by 3. So this recipe makes 30 custard slices. And this dish can only take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. So we're gonna do the rest in another dish, which is going to be given to me by my wonderful assistant. Cookies to the side. Then they say you need to heat the milk in a big pot until boiling point. Add the sugar and the butter and mix that in until everything is melted. Then take it off of the stove. Step number 2. So now we're going to boil the milk, and we're going to put with that the sugar and the margarine. So I measured out my milk, 1 liter, and then we need to get that up to boiling before we add the sugar and the margarine. One cup of sugar. This is normal white sugar. I'm gonna add that in there and stir it. And then I just bought a 50-gram margarine sleeve. So I'm just gonna squeeze that in there. I don't know if this is supposed to be just yellow or yellow with a white swirl. Okay, well the margarine is completely melted. So let's move on to the next step, which is take your pot from the stove. and turn the stove off. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your cake wheat flour, your corn flour, salt, water and custard powder, and you're going to mix that together in a mixing bowl. No silence ever on set. Only eating chocolates. So we need 120 milliliters of cake flour. So that's one. These measurements aren't exact, I would say. It's more of a, looks like it's, could be. So there's your 120 cake wheat flour. Corn flour is the next one. Is that the thickening agent? Yes, so. So we need 100 milliliters. I only have a 125, so we just I'm by no means a master chef or a baker, but I can read, so what can go wrong, really?
Everything.
Also, I'm making a really big mess. Custard powder. I mean, this box does not look very fresh, and we just bought it. So we need 10 milliliters and a little bit extra for love. And then they say 2 milliliters of salt, which I'm gonna guess is just like a pinch or two, and a little bit of good luck. And then 100 milliliters of cold water. Who knew that there was this little? Okay, so they say you must do this very thoroughly. So we're going to use a whisk. I don't think 100 milliliters of water is enough. Yeah, but how are you going to stir this properly? How are you supposed to do this properly before you put the eggs? I'm guessing this is properly enough, and I'm going to add the separated eggs. So I'm going to show you how amazing I am at separating eggs. My mother believes that if you cannot separate eggs, you cannot get a husband. So fellas, be prepared to be impressed. You need 2 bowls and 3 eggs. 1, 2, 3. And then you make sure that you have 2 sides of the egg, and you let the white flow out. Do not get any yellow in your white. That is trouble right there. And then your egg yellow goes into a bowl. I say that you should whisk in the egg yellows Put the egg whites. So 3 egg yellows go into that mixture. Wen Resepte is not winning at the moment. It's stuck. Ek doen kappel. It's not doing anything. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm hoping this is not going to be a lumpy mess. Damn it, Wen Resepte. See, the thing is, my mother and my aunt think that I cannot cook, that I'm a horrible chef. And now I thought that if I could read, I could do this. But clearly it's not that easy. Okay. Well, this looks fine. So now we're just going to pour. Ooh! I'm making this to take to a friend's house for dessert because we're having a dinner party. Please don't hate me. Please don't be my friend. Okay, well, I think the little lumpies are gone. Can I now pour the rest?
Yes.
So we're blitzing. And then they say you need to pour this back into your pot with the rest of the milk. Continue stirring over a low heat, and then you need to do that for about 5 minutes until it's nice and thick, and then you can take it off of the stove. Roer jou klitser, roer jou klitser oor die kastrolse bodem. Okay, it's been about almost 10 minutes. Lying Wen Resepte. It's getting nice and thick now. I turn the heat all the way up, so I'm gonna turn it all the way down. There we go. It's nice and thick. It's getting there. That was not 5 minutes. Starting to seriously doubt my capabilities as a cook. Take off of the stove and add your vanilla essence. So your vanilla, you need 5 milliliters. That's 1 teaspoon. So I'm just gonna add that in here. So the next thing we need to do is to whisk up these egg whites. So I'm gonna try to do it by myself first, and then if that doesn't help, we're gonna enlist some. This is quite a messy story. We will enlist some help from the professionals. I've only done this with the electrical whisk. Now that that's done, they say that you need to fold in the egg whites with a metal spoon into the custard. I'm going to spoon that in there. And then just gently whisk that in. Praat mama, ek gaan dit anyway uitedit. Ek gaan dit waarskynlik gebruik, net omdat jy my nou 'n bliksem genoem het. Ek gaan vir my so groot bord kry wat sê Silence, I kill you. Well, okay. You don't want to overstir it because then you're going to take the air out of the egg whites. And then they say that you need to pour the warm custard over the biscuits Biscuits are pointed in the correct direction. I do feel like doing something that is making a YouTube video. So I'm going to use this wonderful soup ladle because that's going to be the easiest. So we're going to take our bowl. All of my cookies are facing the right direction or the same direction. And then we will wait for my mother to finish her loud conversation before we start spooning the custard. We will now start spooning. So now you're going to take some more of your crackers. There you have it. And then they say you can put it in the fridge to let it cool. And then while it's cooling, you're going to make the icing sugar that goes on top. I know, you thought you were done, but wait, there's more. So it's been a couple of hours and the custard slices are still in the fridge, but we need to make the icing sugar to pour over. So they call for 2 cups, but I'm only going to use 1 cup because I did not make the 30 slices as they suggested to do. So they say to use 2 cups. I'm going to use 1 cup of icing sugar. And 40 milliliters of water. Boiling water. But I'm not going to use the complete 40 mils because I don't want it to be too runny. I want it to be a little bit thicker. So this is up to your discretion, because if you want it to be super runny, then leave it like this. If you need some more, put some more icing sugar in there. I'm going to put that aside, take my slices out of the fridge. So beautiful. And then I'm just going to drizzle this over. And there you have it. Remember, like, subscribe. I know this video was super long and super not entertaining, but if you want this recipe, it is on my blog, lovethatfood.wordpress.com. I will link it below. Leave your comments, like, subscribe, and share. Until next time. So it's supposed to be a solid slice.
Yes.
Not a mess. This is the professional chef in our family. How many years of cooking experience?
37, my dear.
37 years. It's just the consistency that needs to be thicker. So boil it for longer than 10 minutes, even though the recipe says 5. You do not have a Wen Resepte,